Welcome to Business Unusual. I'm Beverly Schuch, in for Lou Dobbs. Ahead, those who made the trip made headlines. We'll take a look at the company that made the Breitling flying machine, the inspiration, innovation, and unexpected beginnings of the world's largest manufacturer of hot air balloons, Cameron Balloons. Real estate goes virtual. The queen of New York's brokers makes a bid for a worldwide computer network. And giving customers what they didn't know they wanted. We'll show you 3 companies' preemptive thinking. Those stories and plenty more just ahead on Business Unusual. He spotted a business opportunity in a U.S. government research project. Hot air balloons were developed for science, but Don Cameron saw their potential for recreation. Today, the company he started, Cameron Balloons, is a genuine high flyer. It's the world's biggest manufacturer of hot air balloons, including the first one to fly successfully around the globe. Charles Hodson has our report.
When Bertrand Piccard and Brian Jones circumnavigated the Earth in their Breitling orbiter, a company called Cameron Balloons celebrated back in England. Cameron had spent 9 months building the orbiter at a cost of more than $1 million.
We've been very excited and very pleased that we've managed to get the round-the-world victory. But the immediate effect, of course, is that no one will order any more balloons to try to go around the world. But maybe it'll make other people order sporting balloons more.
Cameron makes more balloons than any other company in the world. Its passenger sport and advertising balloon models start at $20,000. They make up the bulk of Cameron's business. But it's the dozen or so balloons used to circle the globe that have raised the company's profile.
It's been very much a process of development. The first balloons we built for long duration, I don't think they would have gone around the world except with some luck.
Constant improvement of the technology has made Cameron the first choice of professionals.
The pilots, or with the projects, tend to come to Cameron's and say, look, we need the benefit of your skill and experience here. And Cameron sit down with them and discuss the type of balloon they want, the size they should have, the type of fuel system they ought to have.
Cameron is a small business with about $12 million a year in revenues, yet it's built about 60% of the roughly 10,000 balloons out there. It takes 6 to 8 weeks to build the average balloon, and double that for special balloons like these that the company invented 20 years ago.
It's been a long process of development there. We've developed our own in-house computer systems to do the design work on these, because getting shapes like the smooth curves on a dinosaur, for example, wouldn't be very easy without the computer systems.
Balloons are the oldest flying technology in the world, dating back to 1783, when the famous Montgolfier balloon took off in Paris. But it wasn't until the 1950s that the modern hot air balloon was invented as part of a US government research project. Scotsman Don Cameron was one of the first to pick up on its leisure potential.
Well, Don Cameron started sort of modern ballooning, as it were. Just going to have to burn again a minute. And they've just got a lot of experience. Their engineering is really, it's not fussy, it just does exactly what you want the balloon to do, and they last a long time.
Yes, nice balloon to fly, isn't it?
In 1966, over a couple of beers at a pub in Bristol, England, Don and some members of the local gliding club talked about the new, affordable technology. Each one pitched several £100s into the pot. The first hot air balloon syndicate was born when Don opened an account at the bank.
The bank manager had been really quite tickled by this. It was one of these times of financial crisis, and he said he was greatly encouraged that at difficult times there were people prepared to invest in a hot air balloon, because of course no one had heard of hot air balloons in those days.
Most of Cameron's friends eventually bailed out, but Don persevered, founding Cameron Balloons in 1970. He kept his company afloat by using cash from the sale of one balloon to finance the next. While the 70s saw gradual growth in this niche industry, the 80s brought a balloon boom. Aerial advertising took off, and Cameron firmly positioned itself as the world's premier balloon manufacturer.
We've got nearly 30 years of experience, so we're technically ahead of nearly all our competitors, and we're keeping that way by a research program, by developing new materials, by developing new systems.
Despite its cutting-edge image, Cameron Balloon has relied on a conservative business philosophy.
We work in a very old-fashioned way. We don't borrow money. We pay our bills on time. We're pretty careful to keep that straight.
After the success of the Breitling orbiter, Don Cameron wants to raise the stakes. He's working on plans for a round-the-world balloon race to take place every 4 years.
There's a magic to just floating off the ground. There's no great noise of engines, no speed. You just float off the ground and you can fly over the countryside.
For Business Unusual, Charles Hodgson, CNN Financial News.
Cameron's made many unusually shaped balloons. Some of the oddest were for American publishing millionaire Malcolm Forbes. He used to order a new balloon each year to commemorate his visits abroad. One was modeled on his French chateau. Another for a visit to Egypt was made in the shape of a sphinx.